And that's the tea. And welcome to Extremely Cosmic. Every single time I start doing a video, I have to apologise because I haven't made a video in like a long time. It might have been weeks, it might have been a month, and every single time I feel the need to apologise, so I'm sorry. One of the main reasons why I haven't been making videos is because I've been obsessed with TikTok. Hear me out. Like, I know there's like half naked people on there just dancing away in provocative ways, but listen, it's a really fun app. My name is Extremely Cosmic as per usual, and I make little videos lip sync into songs and TV shows, and it's really good, it's really creative, you can do whatever you want. There's like uncopyrighted stuff on there that you can just use, and I'm just having a lot of fun like participating in trends and making my own little weird videos, and it's been a really good time. So if you want to go and see it, please. But that is not the main reason why we're here today. Today we are here to rank seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've made quite a few videos about Buffy in the past. I've been doing it for like quite a few years now. I've been making videos about Buffy, and I know a lot of people are subscribed because they want to see more Buffy content, so I'm fine doing it, so we're gonna do it. Obviously, I've been watching Buffy for years. It's my favourite TV show ever. I have like way too much merchandise. It has literally taken over my life. I really want to do an updated merchandise video because I have like a lot more merchandise than the old merchandise video, which I'll put the card for up in the top corner. I have a lot of opinions about the seasons and episodes of Buffy, and I want to talk about every season, why I like it, why I don't like it, and it might get on people's nerves, and it's just my personal opinion, so please don't attack me. We're going to start with my worst and least favourite season and then work up to my favourite seasons. My least favourite season of Buffy is season 3. I know that a lot of people are under the impression that with every single season of Buffy it gets better. Like, obviously in the first season it was just like finding his feet, and then with every single season it gets better, but with season 3 for me, it's just a no-go though, is it? I'm pretty well known for being a Spuffy shipper, and Bangle or Bangel or whatever you pronounce it like is just not it for me, and I just honestly wish that relationship to be over. I'm so cynical. Listen, I've never been a fan of Angel. The reason I haven't watched Angel, the series, is because I don't like Angel. Him as a character just annoys the heck out of me. He's like always miserable. He just stands there with that like hunched over shoulder like action, and he's just like hiding in the bushes, waiting to jump out at the moment that Buffy needs him, and I honestly cannot deal with him. He's just too gloom and doom, and why? No. I understand why a lot of people do like him, and I know that he undergoes like quite a lot of character development in the earlier seasons, but season 3 for me is just like the most miserable thing in terms of Buffy and Angel's relationship. Like, they're just like together but they're not really together, they're just like hanging out with each other. It's like really sad moments, and every single episode they seem to go through the same conversation of like, we can never be together, but I still love you, and I'm still gonna hang out with you, and I still wanna be friends with you, but like, we can't actually be together. What's in it for our future? Like, this seems to be exactly the same conversation happens every single episode, and I can't be the only one who notices this. I can't be. Like, it happens every single time. Buffy is also really miserable throughout this whole season. I want like power, and I want strength, and I want confidence out of her character as the Slayer character, but like, I'm not getting that. And I know that like she's allowed to show her emotions, and I know it's good to see the emotional side of her, but sitting the whole season brooding with Angel in this mansion is not going to get you anywhere, my god. Also, I basically just hate the whole Xander and Willow in love thing. That just doesn't do it for me at all. Willow loved Xander in season 1, and he did not give her the time of day because he was so focused on like girls that apparently look pretty and everything, and he just didn't realize what was good and standing right in front of him. And it really bothers me that he finally realized, just to make her cheat on her lovely boyfriend that she's finally got in a good relationship with Oz, and then he makes her cheat on him. And I just don't understand. And then he did Cordelia so dirty as well. Like, the other thing, which is pretty big thing to like have an annoyance with, is the whole big bad of that season, which is the mayor and him turning into a giant worm at the end of the season. The reason I have a problem with this is like every single season the big bad features like throughout the whole season. Like, you see like sort of episodes where it will like involve them, and then you'll see episodes where they just like crop up in like small parts, and they're like usually present like the whole season. Like episode 15, and the mayor's only appeared like a few times, and he's only ever been like sort of really shady, and he's shown his weapon cabinet, and there's been like no mention whatsoever of him having evil intentions, of him being like really like bad, planning something, plotting something. And it really bothers me that there isn't that kind of large sort of villain overarching everything else. Like, there's not that sort of threat that's going to happen at the end of the season. Like, if you were watching this first time round, you would just think, oh, he's just an evil guy, he's involved with vampires and stuff, you know, whatever. The only thing about season 3 that I like is the introduction of Faith, who is one of my favourite characters. My 3 favourite characters are Spike, Anya and Faith, and I love them a lot, and I think the introduction of Faith was really good because obviously she's like, in my opinion, a much like kind of better Slayer than Buffy. Is that like wrong to say? I don't know. She just has like much more of a fun and like interesting personality compared to Buffy, and I wish we'd see more of that. I wish we'd see more of her because she was actually really fun during season 3, and I think she like added a lot to the storyline having her around, and I'm not really sure how this season would have like really held up without the introduction of like a new character into the whole mix. Also, I absolutely love the episode Lover's Walk. It is like amazing, except from the Xander and Willow like elements of it. The next season I want to talk about is season 1, which ranks 6th on my list. I don't really have any major like problems with season 1. It's just not one of my favorites. The fact that it's not really developed yet, the whole series isn't really found its feet yet. You kind of just being introduced to the characters still, you find out their personalities and what they're kind of like with each other. There's no major things that have been sort of put out there yet. I do really like the 2 episodes in the beginning. I think that it's a very good thing if you're firstly watching the program for the first time. You can see like a lot more of the show, you get more of a grasp of the show because it's in 2 parts. There is like a couple of episodes in season 1 where I'm just kind of like, say no more than the episode with the puppet where he tries to go around stabbing people. I mean, what was that? Quite like the whole like end scene with the Master. It's quite good, even though the Master to me isn't really a scary big bad. Like, he's not really doing anything like major. I know he's just trying to get out from underneath and like cause havoc up above and stuff like that, which obviously we were shown during that one episode where Cordelia wished if Buffy had never come to Sunnydale. The next series on my list, placing at number 5, is season 2. Once again, I don't really have a problem with season 2. There's a couple of things that I would probably change. However, it is an okay season overall. The one major problem that I have with it is that Spike and Drusilla were meant to be the big bad of the season. Like, them coming in the beginning, being all like ruthless and being all like angry and stuff. School Hard, amazing episode by the way, and obviously like I thought that they were going to be like the big bad the first time I watched it, but then obviously with Angel turning bad again, losing his soul, and then he kind of becomes the big bad because he just overrules them completely. And I think it's a little bit disappointing if you're watching the show for the first time thinking, wow, Spike's this like big bad guy and he's gonna like go and kill Buffy and everything, and then you just kind of see him overruled by Angel, and it's a little bit like, wow, he's a bit lame. Obviously when you learn more about Spike and everything, you can kind of see that he's like, you know, he's not really a bad guy, is he though? However, the end of that season, I understand its significance. I absolutely love when Spike and Buffy partner up with each other to defeat Angel. I think that was amazing character development. I think it's an amazing choice that Joss made with it, because I think that, you know, having Spike changed then kind of foreshadows his change throughout in the later seasons. I think it's really interesting, and it also shows his devotion to Drusilla, because I think a lot of people overlook his devotion to Drusilla and how much he loves Drusilla, and it kind of shows that whoever he loves and whoever he, you know, admires, he's like definitely devoted to, because he kind of shows that a lot through having a crush on Buffy later on and stuff, and being like, you know, completely like in love with her. Let's not also forget them weird flashbacks where first of all Angel with long hair looks completely wrong, and second of all, why was he watching like a 15-year-old girl outside of a high school in LA, like when he was watching Buffy when she was like, I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like, I think the main concern I had through season 2 was like, can Spike actually see out of the front of his car with that tiny little slit in the windscreen? The next season I want to talk about is season 7, aka the finale season. The reason it's placed in here is because obviously there's other seasons that I prefer more than season 7, but also because there's a lot of moments in season 7 where I'm kind of like, I think the thing that kind of annoys me with a lot of the later seasons is that they don't have like as many standalone episodes, like ones that are like a major sort of standalone. Don't like the introduction of the potential slayers. To me, it's just a little bit of like dead weight, and none of them to me are very like good characters. None of them have anything about them that makes me go like, oh, I really like that person as a character. Kennedy to me is really annoying. I don't like her and Willow's relationship. I prefer Tara, even Oz. But Kennedy, no ma'am. It's just not happening for me, Willow and Kennedy, and I feel like Willow maybe felt like she needed someone else, so she just fell on Kennedy maybe when Tara was gone. Dawn is also annoying, but obviously she's also one of my least favourite characters, so not really bothered about her. I think one of the main issues that I have near the end is when like Buffy basically gets kicked out of her own house, like when all of them basically turn their backs on her and they're all shouting at her and everything and going like, you know, like we need to sort this out, like what are you doing? And they basically all shout at her and stuff, and then she gets all like depressed and like runs away. I just don't agree with that at all. You know when Spike goes into the house and basically gives them all a speech about like, after everything she's done for you and you treat her like this and stuff like that, like I completely stand by that. Not because Spike's my favourite character, but because like it's totally true. One of the main things is that this season has probably the best Buffy and Spike relationship of them being like very comfortable with each other, very friendly with each other, caring for one another. Spike genuinely cares for Buffy, and obviously he has a soul now, and I think Spike with a soul is just like so like caring. So I know he was like just a harmless little soft boy when he like didn't have a soul, but he cared for Buffy and everything, but now he's like with a soul, harmless little soft boy. The main time that they make me cry is when Buffy's all depressed because she has been kicked out of her house, and she goes and she's like talking with Spike, and then he gives her the speech about how she's the one, and then he goes to leave and she's like, no, can you stay here, can you just hold me? And then they sort of like sleep together, but they're like not actually sleep together, they're just like, he holds her all night, and it's like, oh, that's so cute. And after that, when they're talking about that night, and Spike said it was like the best night of my life, and then when you think about it and think about how long he's lived for, like he's lived over 100 years, and you're like, oh my god, that was the best night of your life. That is actually so sad. I'm crying my eyes out. Like, I was gone. Also the moment where Buffy gives Spike the amulet and said it needs to be worn by a champion, and she gives it to him, which is like super sweet, and I think that it just kind of solidifies how long their relationship's like been going on, and how like what a journey it's been on, from like them hating to each other, from them being like friends but also hating each other, from then having that sort of on and off weird sexual relationship, to them being like proper friends and almost like family who rely on each other. I just think it's like such an amazing timeline, their journey of like being in a relationship with each other. Obviously I'm sad at the end I lose Anya and Spike, who are like two of my favourite characters, like I said before. I think Anya's death was too overlooked. I'm like not entirely happy with the way they play that out, even though the fact that when Xander's running through the school going like, Anya, Anya, and then it shows her lying on the floor but he can't see her, that absolutely shattered me. I was like, oh my god. Spike dying, that whole scene, that whole hand holding scene, absolutely bawling on the floor I was. One of the main things I actually like about this season is Andrew being like a hero and all. I think he's an amazing funny character. I think the introduction of him was like well needed. I think him being like a little bit weird and helpless, but like he used to be a villain, I think that's really cool, and he actually ended up being a hero in the end, and I like a lot of his one-liners that he comes out with. Next on my list is none other than season 6. It might be a well-known fact, you probably don't know, but it's a well-known fact to me that I absolutely love any episode of Buffy where there's memory loss included and the characters are like don't know who they are, or like go through something where they think they are something else. Like I absolutely love episodes like that. Something Blue, Tabula Rasa, all like my favourite episodes, like full on. One of the reasons why I like season 6 is because a lot of characters are doing things that isn't within their character, and I like that quite a lot. I like the change in dynamic, and I like the fact that we can see the fact that the characters are literally falling apart without Giles there. I think when Buffy has that conversation with Giles and she's like, everything's gone apart while you weren't here, like this is what's happened, and he bursts out laughing. Xander left Anya at the altar, and Willow went all like dark Willow again, and then I've been working at the Double Mute Palace and I've been sleeping with Spy. Dawn is a total kleptomaniac. First of all, I couldn't care less about Dawn. I don't care about her character development, I don't care about it at all, but I do love seeing Spike and Buffy together. Obviously I shipped them together, and it was really cool to see them finally together and engaging in some romance, however weird it was. And we'll just not talk about seeing Red and that scene in the bathroom. Obviously Dark Willow happened. Willow for me, you know, take her or leave her really. She's not one of my favourite characters, she's not one of my least favourites, but yeah, she went bad, it all happened. I like the villain being the trio. I thought they were very interesting. I thought it was a very different take on villains, because you know, they're not supernatural, kind of saying like, you know, humans can be evil too. As much as I don't really like Xander, Anya and Xander's relationship was really cute, and I did really want to see them married. And I remember the first time watching it being so annoyed, and I hated Xander even more, and I still hate him a lot more because it was really annoying what he did, and I just don't think that seeing like apparitions of your future self is enough to go off to, you know, break up with someone at the altar. One of the annoying things about that as well is when Anya sleeps with Spike in the magic box and her and Xander are not even together, and then he goes all ham on Spike outside the magic box, going on like, what you doing, what you like, why? And like, they're not even together. I'm just like, what? One of the funniest things about Buffy and Spike's relationship is when all of her friends find out about it, like slowly but surely. And I think the one scene that sticks in my head poignantly as being one of the best is when they're having that house party, and her and Spike are like just next to the stairs, like, and he starts like touching Buffy, and Tara walks past and looks at them, and he says that he has a cramp, and Tara's just like, okay. My favourite ever season of Buffy is actually a tie between season 5 and season 4. We'll start with season 4 because if one of them had to go in second place, it would probably be season 4. I absolutely love the character development of them going to college. They're starting a new life. I think it's a breath of fresh air, and I like the use of like Giles's house as kind of a base for them, but you've also got like the college, and I think that like it brings in a lot more new storylines, more possibilities. I kind of like the initiative being like the big bad, like obviously it's Adam, but like the initiative as a whole, because it's kind of once again that sort of outside of the norm big bad. It's not just like a demon or a big vampire or something. It's like quite an interesting one. I think the whole process of them finding out what the initiative does and then searching there, and the fact that like half of the college boys are involved in it, even though the initiative really, like the big bad, is just kind of underwhelming for me, like Adam and then Maggie Walsh. No thank you. The main reason why I dislike this season is none other than Riley Finn. Ever since I watched this season for the first time, have hated Riley and still hate him. I just don't like him. I think as a character he's really bland, and he's kind of just like a like action man. To me he's just a boy who wants to play with a gun, and he's just kind of really annoying, and he wants to be in on Buffy's stuff but he's just like not, and he's got this whole secret thing with the initiative that I'm kind of annoyed he doesn't tell her about in the first place. And he just gets on my nerves. He's really bland. He's just kind of like soft and boring, and I just, where's the excitement though, you know? I think the main reason why a lot of people don't like Riley is because he's not Angel and he's not Spike. I think the whole Willow and Oz ending their relationship and then Willow moving forward, I think it's a big massive step for her character, and then her getting with Tara, I think it's very, very interesting. Obviously that's a massive, big, important thing that's being shown on television. I think it's great. And I really like Xander as kind of like came into his own a little bit, because obviously he's with Anya now, and I like their relationship. Thank God he's finally found someone, you know, and he's kind of taken his own path in life, which shows that, you know, not everyone has to go to college. One of the main reasons why I like this season is obviously Spike comes back, and I think his character throughout the season is well interesting, because he starts out being like so angry and he still wants to kill Buffy and he's still all like bad and stuff, and he undergoes the massive change of being captured by the initiative, getting the chip in his head, and not only does it add a massive comedy element to his character, which I absolutely adore because he can't hit people or kill them or anything, he just undergoes this like massive being friendly with Scooby Gang for once. Like he's finally sort of tolerating them and sort of helping them out, and it's the first signs of him being their friend and helping them out, like in seasons past this one. In the early parts of season 4 there's a lot of episodes that I love that have funny Spike scenes in them, such as the one where he's living in Xander's basement and he shrinks all his clothes so he has to wear the Hawaiian shirt. There's also the episode where he tries to stake himself. I love it when he finds out that he can kill demons and he's like, oh, vampires, let's go and kill something. I love that one. I absolutely love Something Blue. Something Blue is one of my favourite episodes. I have the trading card from Something Blue in the back of my phone. The end for me is kind of a little bit boring. I don't like Adam as a villain, as I said before. Then season 5. I love season 5 for a lot of reasons. First of all, the episodes are really good throughout season 5. Second of all, the big bad is really good throughout season 5. Glory is probably one of the best big bad, and I like the introduction of Dawn in terms of being the key, because we finally get to like discover why she is that and stuff like that. Like there's like an ongoing storyline about that, and then when she finally discovers, I kind of like that. But obviously as a character, Dawn doesn't really do it for me. She's a little bit boring. She's a little bit like bland, and she has a really annoying squeaky voice. I absolutely love the magic box as like the base set for all the characters where they all go hang out. I think it's an amazing setup and I love it. It's iconic. One of the main things that I absolutely adore about this season 5, is the fact that Spike has that dream where he realizes in Out of My Mind that he has a crush on Buffy, and that is the best storyline in the whole series. The whole Buffy bot thing is so funny. There's so many like comedy elements that I love. Also, Spike's probably at his best in this season because he's really caring for Buffy, he's trying to help, he wants to help with the group, he's really sweet and caring towards Dawn, which is so cute. Like, even though I don't really like Dawn, that is so adorable. Obviously the whole end's very, very big. Obviously, as people watching the show, we know Buffy won't die for sure, she'll be brought back, but it's a very, very big emotional moment, and I really love the fact that it ended like that, because a lot of the seasons are kind of a little bit of an end, but yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, you know, it was kind of brushed over, the whole like series end. But I love this massive end that obviously has a lot of repercussions in the next season. So that is it. That is why I liked and disliked every single season of Buffy, and the reasons why. Obviously I have very different opinions from everyone else. I know that a lot of people in the Facebook group that I'm in have a lot of different opinions to me, but please don't attack me, it's only my personal opinion. I do want to hear your opinions though, so please leave them down below. Give me what seasons, like in a rank of like 1 to 7, like please tell me what your favorite seasons are. If anyone was wondering, my favorite ever episode of Buffy is Once More Feeling, which I guess a lot of people's favorite episode is. I also love Tabula Rasa, Something Blue. I also love Fool for Love. My TikTok and other social medias, they're all linked in the description, so you can go and find them. Please subscribe to my channel, I'm still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Please give this video a thumbs up if you also like Buffy. Bye!